This is page 95 of your math journal. I'm going to call it area of trapezoids. First of all, let's define what a trapezoid is. A trapezoid is a four-sided polygon with exactly one set of parallel sides. Okay, now let's see how I want you to write how a trapezoid and parallelogram are related. You're going to want 3 colored pencils. So if you could grab those, that'd be great. 3 different colors. Okay, we're going to draw a trapezoid. We're going to use our lines of our math journal to help us keep our sides parallel. So let's draw a trapezoid that looks something like this. So when we have this trapezoid, see we have one set of parallel sides. This side and this side are not parallel to each other. Okay, now we're going to draw this, do the best that you can, draw the same trapezoid over here. I know they're not going to be perfect, but just do it close so you can try and see the same thing. Now what I'd like you to do is I want you to take one of your colors and I want you to shade the top one there. Okay, I did mine in pink. Now I want you to take and draw the same size line down here at the bottom. So try and make it pretty close. Then I want you to take another color and shade this bottom line. This one's a little bit longer, so up here, I want you to draw this orange one just a little bit longer up here as well. Okay, the third color you have, shade this far side. And now I want you to make it look like that. Okay, now notice we have the same trapezoid, but it's been flipped upside down here. But when I put them together like that, I end up with a perfect parallelogram. So, area of a parallelogram area is found by doing base times the height. Now compare that to a trapezoid. Okay, now let's look at what we know about a parallelogram. Okay, so in this parallelogram, notice how I put this and this together to form the base of this parallelogram? Well, it's just the shorter and the longer, their bases, because they're parallel to each other, it's the bases put together. So area of a trapezoid, I want you to see where this is coming from. Area of a trapezoid equals, and then I want you to write in parentheses, B and then a little 1, that means base 1, that's just like a little name tag for it, plus base 2. So the 2 parallel sides added together, that's all that means. So if I did this, I would add those together, and then I'd times it by the height. So times by the height Well, if you think about it, this right here is just the base of the parallelogram. So base times height. But how many trapezoids does it take to make up the parallelogram? It takes 2 of those exact ones. So I'm going to have to divide it by 2 if I want to find one of those parallelograms. Or one of those trapezoids. So area of a parallelogram, and I just want you to see where this came from. Here's your base times your height, but there were 2 trapezoids to make that, so we had to divide it by 2 to get just one of them. Alright, let's do some practice here. Okay, let's try and draw a parallelogram that looks something like this. Okay, we're going to say this measures 5 inches. This here also measures 5 inches. This one's going to be a little bit longer. Say this measures 7 inches. And this here is 8 inches. Now I'm just making up numbers, but you need to have a height. So from the top of this to this other parallel side, remember these are both going to meet at right angles, that is 4 inches. Okay, let's find the area of this trapezoid. So area equals base 1 plus base 2. So here, my bases are the 2 parallel sides. So it'd be 5 plus 8. It's a little blurry. Let's fix that. That should be better. So from this trapezoid, base 1 would be 5, plus base 2 would be 8. So add those together, and we put them in parentheses because we have to do that first. Then we're going to times it by the height, which is 4. Remember, it's what makes the right angle. So these other 2 pieces are not important for finding the area. And then we're going to divide that by 2. So 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 times 4 divided by 2. 13 times 4 is 52. And 52 divided by 2, the area of this figure would be 26 inches squared. Just adding a little bit different from what we've been doing with the triangles and the parallelograms. Okay, let's draw another one here. Draw a base here that's going to be 2.5 feet. Up to here, it's 4 feet. This length right here is 3 feet. And this length right here is 3 feet. These are forming right angles. So, when you're finding the area of a trapezoid, you're going to add the bases together first, and they're the 2 parallel sides. So the 2 sides that are parallel to each other are the 3 and the 4. So I need to add 3 plus 4 together. My height is 2.5. That's the distance between the 2 bases. And then I need to divide that by 2 or times by 1/2. Okay, so this makes 7, and then I get 7 times 2.5. Divide by 2. 7 times 2.5 is 17.5. And then if I divide that by 2, just for space and time, I've already done it ahead, but you could easily divide this number by 2, you're going to get that your area is equal to 8.75 feet squared. Now sometimes we're going to be given some information about a figure, and we might have to find something based on knowing the area. So we're going to write, I want you to write the story problem with me. Find the height of the trapezoid if the area is 24 centimeters squared. Okay, so we know the area. Let's draw the figure that it's giving us. I'm just going to draw a trapezoid right here. Those are going to be right angles. Okay, this is 3 centimeters. This is 5 centimeters. And we're looking for the height. So that means that we're looking for this distance right here. I'm just going to call it h. I don't know what it is right now. But we know a few things. So area, I'm going to write the formula out just so you can see it. Area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. So I know the bases, so I'm going to put 3 here and 5 here. I also know the area, 24 centimeters squared. Okay, don't be confused, that's not a squared on this, that's just part of the formula up here. Times the height, which I don't know, divided by 2. So 3 plus 5 is 8. So I have 8 times h divided by 2. Now because of the commutative property, I can switch these around. So I'm just going to change this to h times 8 divided by 2. Well, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I end up with h times 4 gives me 24. So what does h need to be? Well, divide by 4, divide by 4. And I get 6 on the left and h on the right. That means my height is 6 centimeters. Now notice I'm not putting a square on that because this is not area, this is just side length. 6 centimeters is the height. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize that I was cutting some of that work off for you. Hopefully that's a little bit better. No, that's not. Here you can see everything that should be on your notes.